Hello, everyone. I'm going to get the chat box up as soon as this stream starts. There we go, and then I have to announce the stream, of course. I think like streaming on Twitch might actually be better than streaming on YouTube, but I actually like YouTube's format more. Twitch definitely gets you more followers more quickly, so I might go for that in a while. Hopefully, yeah. I figured out something about playing on Fox is that, like, essentially these, like, they just do like well, I mean, I've always known they always do random invasions, and I actually have to adjust to the way they play at Fox because you can't just like try to play regular moves at Fox. That generally does not work at all if you play regular moves on Fox because they just kind of like play random BS, and you really have to know how to deal with the random BS. It doesn't happen nearly as much as on OGS. But it's not bad practice. Also, I lost 2 games because I literally like misclicked twice on Fox. That really pisses me off. Like I was winning and then I misclicked. And then there's no undo option over there, so we're just kind of screwed. He's obviously playing influence on both sides on this one. The thing about playing influence is you kind of need the Sente, so me being able to do this, basically, it kind of negates his influence. He does that, but that's not really something I'd suggest people actually doing. I should have done this first, but then he could have came up. I don't know. Actually, this is fine because he can't cut. I'm fine with him doing this. I have no problem extending more. Every time he extends, it does actually decrease his every time he extends, it actually decreases his potential here. That's generally not a good move. Not at this point in the game. I mean, what I should do is just probably just block here. Now blocking here is good too, because it gives me a solid wall that way. So I'm going to ignore that and just like go here-ish. I guess. I mean, if he wants that corner that badly. It is pretty big, though. I'll give you that. I'll just do this. I don't think the potential of the center is so big right now that it matters. Just get a bit of bottom territory. This group isn't that strong. Yeah, jumping that way doesn't really do much. I'm going to jump here. There is a danger that he does this, though. I mean, I'll give you that. And I'll be under attack. He does do that. Thing is, I can do this and just come out this way. So doing that first kind of defeats the whole purpose of this, right? I guess he could cut that way. Why would you do that? You would definitely cut. Because like people get way too obsessed with like getting points down there. I mean, this is just bad because there's not that many points in there. Especially if I take this, there's basically like no points in there. This doesn't work, so he can actually cut this. I think he wants to cut it, but he spent so many moves on it that I don't really think I care anymore. What you have to realize about this is that there's not that many points here. This is probably more important right now. It's really hard to get all these points here. I mean, there's just not that many here. I guess I can go that way, but and then I can come. I don't. That's probably a mistake. Yeah. See, like there's just not that. I would have been way more aggressive with this, but now that that partner's fixed, there's like no points in here. So he spent a lot of moves and getting not that many points. Same thing with this. Like if I just jump here, there's just almost no points, right? So he's gonna have a lot of issues making points here. This is actually much bigger. Like these cornerstones are pretty big. There's very few points in here. Like that cut isn't a big thing anymore. So he can technically do this and get a couple points here, but this is stuff like this is going to be much bigger. And now this kind of almost makes the sente right now, because if I do, yeah. Yeah, if you actually look at all the things I can actually do to disrupt his territory, you realize that he doesn't like the stuff that he's trying to make in the center. Like, for center territory, you generally need to do forcing moves. If you don't do forcing moves, your center territory is really not going to be that successful. You may get like 10 points here and there, but like it's generally not going to be that successful. And if you're giving up so many centes, it's just not worth it. Yeah, like even stuff like this becomes really hard for him, right? And I'm just gonna go back like this. I think he made a mistake there as well. Oh wait, why did I do that? I'm not think. I think I was expecting him to. Sorry, I was expecting him to. Sorry, I was expecting him to cut. That's my bad. That's totally my bad. I was totally expecting him to cut. That's why I automatically did that. Oh wait. I'm being stupid again. No, that's fine because I can actually I can actually go. Why would you do that? Um, that's gonna be way more important. Like you gotta save those first. You still have a cut here, so you would connect. If anything, you would connect that. Like this is giving away too many points. And the thing is, like you're still not completely alive. I mean, you're pretty much alive, but it makes the sente. I guess it's sente anyways, but whatever. Yeah. And the thing is, like, you got so few points in the center. That's really big. He got so few points in the center. That's Gote. I don't really want to play that. That's really not worth any points. I'm going to extend this first. And the thing is, he got so few points in the center from doing that, and then he lost this while giving me the rest of the corners. So this is going to be a pretty tough game for him. Like, if you look at what I'm doing, if you like legitimately look at what I'm doing, right? I'm not trying to destroy his territory anymore, but I just used his want to save this territory here, basically to make some points for myself. And this is why that center territory isn't worth all that much, because realistically, like you got a couple of points, but you lost nearly as many trying to get those points. So you got a total of maybe like 6-7 points here, but I gained a total of 5 or so just, by you trying to get those 6-7 points. So definitely, like, in my opinion, probably not worth for him. I'm gonna go ahead and honey this because I don't want any problems here. I don't think there is, but just make sure. That's fine. I probably should have gone there first. That's not a threat anymore because this group's alive, I'm pretty sure. So something like this is going to be a lot bigger. Because in the end, I don't know if I should connect that, but in the end, it's kind of a battle for, that was pretty big. In the end, it's kind of like a battle for points, and since it is a battle for points, you gotta get more of them, and this is not helping him get more points in the end. Now I gotta figure out where to go. He probably shouldn't answer that. It's my bad. There's no points there. These 4 are dead. I mean, there's like 1 point there, but those 4 are dead, so it doesn't really matter. He does have some points in here, though. I'll give him that. But overall, like, am I winning this game? I actually don't know. See, I don't see the point of that because since this liberty's not filled in yet, I don't actually need to answer this. I mean, this is still in the cup, so I can just go here first. And then when he blocks, I don't have to answer, right? What else is big? Not much else. I guess I can do this. Fee, Ataris, I can just take these 4. So he answers that. Let's do this. This looks good. I don't know if you needed an answer. I don't think you did. So we're just going to take this opportunity to make a couple more points here. See, Atari. As long as this liberty's not filled, I'm good, I think. You know what? We're just going to fix this issue. I think there might have been something there. I've been reading really poorly lately, so I don't want any like actual mistakes here. Because I made a lot of mistakes, like playing just on Fox. I mean, I misclicked a couple of times, which caused me to lose like 1 or 2 games. But aside from that, like I've made a lot of really bad reads that just ignore people on stuff I shouldn't have. So yeah. There's a code here. For this, if you're losing by half a point, you always Hane. Because once they snap back, you do this. Okay, that's actually a good move, because then I do need to actually repair here. That's a pretty good move. I could just answer, I don't know. Well, let's do this. 4, 8. This is 4, 8, and then 5 more. That basically is that. And then that is basically that. And then I should be able to win here. I don't know, though. Because I have to, this is a 2-step for me. This is actually a 2-step for me. Because I have to connect this first. I don't really want to fight this code, but I can, though. I mean, there's no reason I wouldn't. Yeah, win by a couple points, but it's hard. Oh, wait, why am I even fighting that Ko? Let's connect this. I have a point here. Yeah. Okay, now, I mean, he has a point there, but... Okay, never mind. Never mind. Oh. Shoot. I totally forgot about that. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that's my bad. He might have won off that actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and fight this, I guess. This game's actually really close. Definitely pretty close. So there's nothing there. I'm just gonna connect this. I was gonna have to take this anyways. I do actually have to do this because he can come here, so I'm just gonna take this. Okay, I win by a comfortable margin. I wasn't counting. So let's actually review this game. This game was more of a passive game, obviously, because we didn't really do anything exciting. That's a decent one. Here, you probably wouldn't take the second. Here, like I said, you probably wouldn't take the second one because White's not going to respond. You would just do this. The corner, securing the corners are going to be a little bit more important, and it gives you more absolute territory. So I'm going to ignore that. Kind of the same thing here. That's fine. I would still recommend this. Yeah, it does kind of like disrupt your Moyo, but I don't know how much you can get from doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you, the cut, you can just capture, so that's not a big deal. But there is this annoying move here. So I don't know if I realistically would have done all these. I mean, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but I wouldn't have done all that. So this is the thing about middle territory. There's just not really that much of it. So like, you can come here. And then, like, if you force this way, I'm going to basically have to do... I'm going to probably do that. And then you'll probably be able to do this anyways. If I don't do that, let's just say if I do this, this becomes Sente, and this becomes kind of uncomfortable. So I would definitely just invade here. The corner is always really big. Trying to get the middle territory is very difficult. Because if you just... I mean... You know, instead of invading this, I would just take the easy route and just do this. As White, I might make another move, and then if you come down here, I'm going to take this. It's not worth taking the 2 stones right now, so you might be able to get more like Moyo, and you might be able to get Moyo over here, but the center is kind of open. So you would have to like do a bunch of forcing moves to actually make center territory. You can also, it's hard to attack this, but the center is open. It's really, really hard to get much center territory if you put a lot of stones in it. So like you got to remember, generally, unless you have a lot of forcing moves that can actually make your center Moyo, it's hard to make center territory. So like you should prioritize corners first, then sides, then center, because it just takes a lot more stones to get center territory. You might see the AI getting a lot of center territory because that's because the AI knows how to use like forcing moves several moves in advance, which like very few people, if any, do. I'm just gonna guard the corner. I'm not in favor of this particular move. I mean, yeah, I'm not in favor of this particular move because it does give white this move, and it basically, you still have the double Hane. Well, you don't really have the double Hane anymore, actually. So it gets rid of the double Hane for black. It creates a little bit of a weak group here, and you're not really destroying too much of white's territory because there's not like one move that white can do to solidify this territory. So I don't see this being a good invasion. That's not a good move right now. If you want to play this, I would just jump out. Because remember, like, if you jump out, like, then you do actually have, like, forcing moves to make more of this Moyo. If you are gonna play Moyo, you should actually play towards that Moyo. Because while you're like, I mean, these are decent forcing moves, but this is so open. Like here, if you want to make the Moyo, go ahead and make the Moyo here. I don't know if that would work because I would probably just cut or something, but I don't know if that would work. Yeah, like if you're gonna make these big Moyos, just make this Moyo. Like I could come out here, but I'm kind of capped. So it's, even though it is really hard to actually make points in here, you can probably get at least a lot more points in here than you did. So if you're gonna spend all these moves making this Moyo, just go ahead and finish the Moyo. Like you got to use the forcing moves to make the Moyo. This particularly doesn't make any sense, but I would 100% cut here because this group is basically safe. You have this stone, that group's basically safe. I still owe you a move here. And if you cut here, you might be getting all of this. The thing is, like, using your thickness to try to completely just like surround territory is not efficient. You gotta use the thickness to attack other stones. Like this stone is fairly weak. I can't threaten this group over here, and because I can't threaten that group over there, like this stone doesn't really have any outs. Like you can just connect back and then you would still be attacking me. So you've got to use your thickness to attack. If you just use a bunch of thickness to basically try to surround territory under my stones, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So yeah, the thickness is definitely just for cutting and attacking. Yeah, see, like your advantage is 10.1, and but like when you do this, it becomes 4.1, and when you do this, it only becomes 1.6, because like you're just not using your influence in the right way. That particular stone, I probably should have just played here to attack these stones, because this is actually a pretty crucial point here. It makes me stronger and it puts pressure on these stones here. I just got greedy for territory. This isn't too bad. But I shouldn't have allowed this to go. Like once you played this, honestly, I probably should have just gone somewhere else. Because like this is kind of a fishing move to see if you actually respond. But overall, this is okay for me because I got a little bit of points here. I reduced your points in there. This move doesn't make too much sense. It doesn't really build your Moyo. It doesn't threaten this cut. And it lets me just basically have a free move. So I'm going to come up here. So I personally think I should have done this. This is a better move than that. If you do this, I can do that. And so it's a little bit problematic because here you don't really want to do that. Here you don't really want to do this because, you know, if I just go this way and then attack these stones, now you're kind of screwed. So that doesn't really work that way. So like, it's hard for you to get the Moyo, and then like, you know, if you do this, I can just do this and destroy your territory anyway. So that's why between this stone and this stone is worth more. Like this doesn't really do anything because it doesn't threaten anything. It doesn't really get you any points either. It doesn't protect anything, it doesn't threaten anything, and there's no points in it, so it's generally not a useful move. So I'm gonna come up here. I took the wrong spot. You know, at this point, I still might just cut. It's a very dicey proposition at this point. Yeah, it's probably not a great idea now that I look at it, but I would definitely seriously consider this. And even if I don't consider it, I would make moves to threaten this cut. He eventually gets that stone. I'm going to Hane this. This is bigger, but I just made a mistake there. You do this. I'm going to extend here because I don't want the double Hane down, so that's why I did this. See, like you're spending way too many moves to make not too many points, because this is, look at it, you spent 1, 2, 3 moves to surround maybe 15 points at most. That's 5 points a move. That's not very efficient. And if you play like a lot of inefficient plays, you're eventually going to lose. So I was thinking like, what if, because I can't really, if I do this, then this is actually an issue. Yeah, this just dies, so I can't actually stick in. I would have to come out, and then this is a much better, like this is so much of a better position for black. So I was actually worried that you would do this. If I do this, then you're sacrificing a couple of points over here for more points over here. So I would have probably cut, and there's always a threat of this cut here. So like, yeah, you do lose like points here, but I think this actually just might be worth more. So if you, before you make this trade, you've got to decide, you've got to like really decide like, well, is this worth more over here or is that worth more over there before you make their decision? I might have just actually done that. Might not have been a great decision because there's about 10 points in here. I think there's more than 10 here. So that could be an option right now, because this basically just lets me destroy your territory. And once again, you're trying to get points in here, but even without this move, you probably have 4 or 5 points in there, and all this move will get you is maybe like 6 or 7 more at the most. And like, if I do that, it basically like limits you to 4 or 5 points at most. I don't know why that, I don't really know why you did that. I can't really disconnect you here. I can't really disconnect this stone. You're like, if you want to fix this, you can just, you know, connect this or do this. Because that, I can't really threaten you. I can't cut. And if you're really if you're really worried about that, don't extend down, just connect. So it's that's actually perfectly fine. So you let me take this stone, which is really huge. And once again, like you spent another stone here, and there's only 4 or 5 points in here. So like your rate of territory for all these stones is like 2 or 3 points a stone. And at this point in the game, that's going to be a loss for you. Like this move is going to be way bigger than this move, because it kind of solidifies some territory in here. And it might actually make this Sente. I don't know if this is actually Sente or not, but it might actually make that Sente. So once again, like you're spending another move to get this territory. And you actually have to spend another one to get this. So you spent like 5 moves getting about 10 points or so. That's 2 points a move. Like if you want to improve, you have to like keep track of these things. If you want to improve, you have to keep track of these things. So I don't know if that's actually Sente or not. I don't know if it's Sente right now because it's hard to say. I don't think this is dead, because I can come in here, and I don't have enough liberties to actually compete with you right now, I don't think. So it probably isn't Sente. If you were going to fix this, I feel like you would do this, because yes, this is troublesome, but I feel like you probably have enough liberties to kill my 2 stones in there, because you have so many extensions over here. Maybe not. I don't really know. This might be set. No, I can't. Yeah, you would still win by one liberty if I did that, because I can't throw in here. So I feel like you have enough. I feel like you just have enough liberties. I feel like you just have enough liberties to actually at least get Seki in here. And if you at least get Seki in here with me, then if you at least get Seki in here with me, then it's really not worth that many points. And you still win by 1 liberty here too. So this does require some calculation, but I think at most, even if you didn't block, it's Seki. There's about 10 points in here, so the Seki move is actually around 5 because it cost me another move. So that's fine. You just make sure you live there. Yeah, you have to kind of block that. I mean, I'm just taking Sente here. and just pulling ahead more and more at this point. That was a mistake by me. Like I totally I don't know why I did that. I feel like I just expected you to do some move that made me connect there. So there was no reason I would that was just dumb by me. Because like I was thinking I would like if I just cut here, you're kind of dead. You can't really do anything. There's obviously a place here. If you connect this, then I just basically Tiger's Mouth, and this is dead. So I was actually gonna cut. I was actually going to cut here, but then like I don't know why I did that. That's inexplicable. Let you get that. That's a move that you basically just have to connect this on. So that's bad. Like you definitely want to do this. If I do this, you just leave this alone and then you retreat here, I think. I still might be able to cut this, so I think letting me get this puts you too far behind, but it actually might have been the best choice. You wouldn't connect this, but yeah, you might have made there would be problems here, definitely. 'Cause this shape that might have been the best choice here, just to retreat. But like, yeah, I mean, the thing is, in the end, like, I probably captured more points on those 4 black stones than you got territory in here. So a lot of this, like these moves just aren't efficient, and eventually, like those actually, these moves are what let me pull ahead for certain. That's very big. That's good. I don't think I would have answered this. There's no threat to any of your groups, so this is just going to be a bigger move. Because, I mean, sure. And then you still don't answer. And it's like Gote for me, this is Gote for me, like destroying 3 points. So you should, this move is not to be, shouldn't be answered. The thing is, like, a lot of people like to focus on the fighting aspect of Go, but focusing on your end game and just looking at the efficiency of your moves will improve your rank drastically. Because, like, like letting me get this move, that's a 2 or 3 point difference. Like, the end game actually, like, let me pull ahead. Aside from this mistake over here at the end, the end game actually let me pull ahead by, like, 10, 15 points. And that's easily victory in a lot of games. So I am going to play another game. I think someone challenged me, but it's no longer there. So I think they kind of like gave up while I was explaining. So I'm going to create another game, 4 to 14 queue, and see if anyone wants to accept. So the thing is, like, you got to look at when you're playing at a higher level, you have to look at the efficiency in terms of like points per move. Unless you're like fighting a really big group and whoever just kills the group basically wins, right? That's the only time, that's basically the time where you don't have to consider that. But generally, like, you have to consider your points per move. If you don't consider your points per move and you just let your opponent outperform you in points per move, you're going to lose. I'm going to pass 2 times for... I'm going to pass twice for handicap 3. So the thing is, like, you've got to look at your efficiency in terms of like points per move. Because if you don't look at your efficiency for points per move, then eventually your opponent can, if you just answer all your opponent's moves or just make like random moves for 1 or 2 points, eventually your opponent is just going to outpoint you. Like, they're going to nickel and dime you to death afterwards. And like, a lot of times, even if I go into the end game pretty much even with like, like 5, 6, 7 Qs, I'll end up winning the game. I'll actually end up winning the game by, 20, 30 points just because the end game, they didn't quite understand like the importance of it. So clearing up your end game is very, very important. This shoulder hit's fine. I think this is more important for me to do this. The shoulder hit's fine. It's a little small. I don't really like it because the area is pretty small, but there's no invasion, at least. I do think a lot of people tend to brush off the end game and they don't really study it as much as the other parts of the game. But I think that is a pretty big mistake for them to do that. This I'm just going to put pressure on. I mean, it's low, but you still have to answer that. I'm okay with this because I'm cool with getting some territory here. I don't know about that move, actually. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. I actually don't think it's that damaging, even if it does work. But we'll see. There are actually a lot of problems with this move. This particular shape has a lot of liberties, so I might just be killing myself. I can always go under if you do that, so it may not be as great as you think. That's not good. He has to connect that, by the way. There's no choice. He has to connect that. I can actually do this. Actually, no, I can't do that, can I? No, but I'm gonna retreat here. He can come down. He has to do that. If I do this, he can come down and do that. If I do this, then I don't think he has that option. There is a lot of liberties up there, though. That does worry me. This does hurt this over here. I'm just not as concerned about that, though. I mean, it does hurt this over here a lot, but I'll take these three. I think I got these now. Tari might be a bit of a problem here. Go ahead and do this. Now there's not. Okay, I don't think that actually gained me too much because there is a problem here. Thanks. Thanks for the compliment. There is a problem here. I just want to do this. I don't want him playing p4 and then building this Moyo too much. But I am giving him like free reign on this side, so that actually might not have been a great play for me. But you know, like getting those three is a pretty big win, so I'll take it. I will take it. that move is unnecessary. Like the Moyo is just much smaller now. What do I do here? Okay, the correct move would be the 3-3 invasion. But I don't really want to do the 3-3 invasion. If I do this, he can actually get that corner anyways. I think I have to do the 3-3 invasion. This is the wrong use of influence. I mean, you Atari here, you extend out. I mean, I guess you can have some Moyo, but not really sure. Ah, the Joseki thing. Okay. Cool. All right, I've seen this before. I'm just gonna go ahead and actually make this group alive, obviously. There's always like a clamp here. Okay, he did that. Now he has a lot of potential here. The rest of this situation is not really that worthwhile. So if you shoulder hit, he's gonna cap on top, right? So all you really need to do is reduce. This is not a good invasion right now. It's a horrible invasion right now. This group is not weak, so you need to reduce his territory. White also doesn't have that much territory, but I can actually worry about white later. This actually seems like a very good reduction move. He can try to cap on top, but I probably should have played one line higher, honestly. But he can try to cap one line on top, and it would kind of be dangerous for white. I think like 7Q with like handicap 3 is probably like the hardest for me to play in all these handicap games. Capping 2 on top. That's interesting. I've never actually had people cap 2 on top. I would have probably capped only 1. That actually, like, capping 1 on top is much harder for white to deal with than capping 2. A lot of people like would be interested in just invading down here. I just don't like that idea. I feel pretty confident about this group down here, so I'm not too worried about it. It's interesting. So he is determined to kill this. That's fine. I'm just going to fix this cut here. It's being like very, I don't know what would you call it. Actually, I think this was I'm pretty sure this was a negative play for me. Because I let him have too much here. Now I'm invading his territory like crazy. Yeah, it's fine now. I think I'm being like really, really greedy. But that's fine, because when you're playing handicap, you kind of have to be really, really greedy. Otherwise, you're not going to win. And if your opponent just plays defensive moves like that, it's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be really, really easy. Well, not really easy, but sort of easy for you to live. Because if you really look at it, like black does have points, but not a whole lot of them if I live in this territory. Do I want to take advantage and do that? Because I feel like I need that move to win. That was probably a bad move, actually. Oh, wait, that doesn't do anything. That's my bad. He didn't need to answer that. He did not need to answer that. Okay, now I'm going to do this. This is pretty big. It denies him a lot of points. This also might be suicide, but we'll see. That also leaves the clamp up later on, but we'll talk about that later. We're just going to try to make some eye shapes in here now because we don't actually have any eyes. I don't really care if he surrounds me that much. I don't have any really weak groups. That just helps me make eye shapes, I think. So if he wants to capture this stone, he can. I don't really care about this particular stone. I still don't think I'm ahead at this point because I don't have any territory really. He doesn't have that much either, but I don't think I'm actually ahead here. This is still a decently large corner. But yeah, I kind of messed up here. This is not a good play. I think he's kind of given up on attacking this group. I should probably make it alive sometime. But as these things go, gotta get more territory. Okay, that's fine. I'm not really sure what to do with this right now. So I should probably block this because it is pretty big. Okay, it's fine. That's probably not a good move, actually. It's making this group weaker. I can't really attack. Okay, that's not a good move. This group still isn't alive, and this is getting kind of weak-ish here, so I'm getting a little nervous. I should have blocked that. This is alive if he doesn't actually play here, because I can always just clamp here. That's fine. Okay. I don't know if that's a good move or not, actually. Let's go here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's at least one eye and two if he doesn't be careful. So I'm not really afraid of that anymore. Thing is, I don't really have any points either, so besides this here, I don't really have any points either. Oh no, because he can just connect here and that's not good. I don't think this works, but we'll see. I could just kill myself here, but I don't think this actually works for me, but we'll see. Okay, he could have just gone the other way as well. We'll see what happens here. I don't actually think this works. And it's incredibly dangerous for me because none of my groups are actually alive. Well, whatever. I mean... I mean, I have to block this, yes. Should have cut H14. Oh, this? Here, yeah, probably. Because if he cut H14, he cuts this group off. The thing is, black should have been trying to save 1 stone. You're probably right about that. This is actually fairly. You're probably right about that, actually. Okay, I need to figure out what to do here. Like, so what we're gonna do is actually we're going to Atari this way to save that. And then we're just going to kind of solidify this, I think. I think I'm just gonna do this because this just basically kills it. And it connects my 2 groups. Because there's still stuff here that like I need to take care of. There was definitely still things there that could have killed me, but now it's fine. There's a lot of points though. I don't think I actually win this game, but we'll see. Because he has 2 corners and they're actually fairly large. And I didn't really drag him. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Oh, that I'm just gonna connect actually. Okay, that is Sente for me. So he lost another Sente there. Here, I think I can just connect this. Because if I do this, he's gonna come in. And that's troublesome. Then I can't connect. Here, I think I just do this. He does have to answer that, otherwise he loses a ton of points. Okay, I think I do need to do something about this though. Because if I don't, I'm going to definitely lose this group. So yeah, that's fine. Which way do I go? Atari. White might be ahead by a little. I might just screw up here though. Atari. He does that. I have 3. If I do this, I think I lose because he can just Atari here and then connect, and then I'm a little bit screwed, I believe. Atari, connect. Connect. Come down. Can this work? I don't think it works. It might. Or I just might die. Let's see. Atari, and then connect. I come down, he goes back. I do this, he does that, and then I can come over here. Yeah, I think this works. Okay, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. That's kind of like what I kind of expected. I don't know, like this particular area is really big. That's my primary concern right now. Okay, he's gonna basically do that for all it's got, so I have to do that. Yeah. I was hoping to get that, but I guess no such luck, right? That's not the right way to answer that, actually, because this doesn't threaten anything here. This is very big, so I'm going to go ahead and do this first. It's the correct response. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, that's fine. That's kind of weird, actually, that because now this creates a scenario where I don't think I'm going to do that. Oh, no, it's not, because, yeah, I can just go this way. Never mind. I'd be ahead by a little bit. It's hard to say. Very, very hard to say. Yes, better. All right. What else do I do here? Don't know if there's anything else. This is probably good. Couple of points here. Do I need to answer this? Atari, Connect. I don't think I do. Most he'll get is that, but that's actually fairly large. I'm gonna just walk in here. That's okay, I guess. I think there is something here, actually. No, if I just connect that, I can't do anything. Yeah. I'm not necessarily afraid of this right now because I have so many liberties on the outside. But eventually I will be afraid of that. This is decently large because it denies him a couple points. And he does have to answer this. Although I think answering this is in Sente. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, makes 2 points there. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and connect this. So he has to connect that. Eventually, I think, have to do something about this. But not right now. Okay, that's fair. If he goes here, you just connect this way. You do not do this. You do this, you die. It's fine. There's nothing down here because I got that little curl. I want to prevent this particular point because then there's another point in here that he has to fix. This is going to start becoming a problem if I don't be careful, so I do eventually have to play this. Just like this eventually might be a problem for him if he doesn't fix it. If I actually, this is like a point. This is a couple of points here. Eventually, right now it's not any points. Okay, he fixed it anyways. I cannot make a point down here, unfortunately. Just going to Atari this. Yeah, we're going to Atari this. Okay, fair. And no, that's not really any points. I need to make some points. That is a point, I think. But so is this. This, I believe, is also a point. I don't think the rest of that is. I think we win by 1 or 2. It's pretty it's pretty hard to count. I'll give you that. It is fairly hard to count, but I do think I win by. I don't know what that does. I don't think I need to answer this because he can come here and then I can still go over here. He can't come in. So I think I don't need to answer that. He can come here. I can just automatically connect this. Either way, he doesn't have enough. There's no liberties in there to allow him to do this stuff. So I thought he needed to be careful about that. I also need to be careful about that. So I'm just going to fix this right now. Okay, that's fair. Gotta make sure that I don't screw this up somehow. There is actually a danger. This, I believe, is a point. There's a point somewhere in there. That much I do know. This is the better move. Hard to count. Very hard to count. That's one. I think this is the only one left. That's correct. Just gonna connect this. I think the rest are dames. I do like filling dames in for the most part. There might be one disputed thing down here, but I don't really think so. Sure, everything's connected. I mean, with the Comey, I definitely win, but that wasn't actually meant to be there. It's just the way I do handicap. I pass, so that Comey's always there. But it's a very, very close game. It's the closest game I've had in a while. White's probably ahead a little bit. I do think I'm probably ahead by a little bit, but it's the closest game I've had in a while. Okay, I was ahead by more than I thought. I was ahead by 13, so yeah, you're right. I was ahead by about 6. I was ahead by about 6 points without the Comey. So with this game, I did make a lot of mistakes. I think I was playing reflexively at first, and then I realized, oh, I'm not really winning. So here, that's fine. So the thing is, like, when I'm spotting 3 stones, I'm spotting 27 or so points. Yeah, this is fine. It's fine. It's getting a little bit of territory here. This is actually pretty good for black. This group's pretty weak. Come out. And this was actually not very successful for me. It looks successful because I captured all these stones, but it's actually pretty even trade, as you can see by the point difference. Because like it makes this really weak. So even though I captured all these points, it's not that successful for me. Here, would this actually work? No, probably not. I don't know how that turns out, actually. Yeah, I think black actually wins if I do it that way. Actually, no, I would actually do it this way. That's actually... I don't know if this... I don't know who wins this. I think... yeah, he wins this. But no, he doesn't. I win this by 1. Okay. So maybe that doesn't work. I'm not sure. I wasn't able to read that directly. So I just went ahead and took these points. So like there are things that... I mean, like there are things that you can see if they work or not. I don't particularly think this one does. This doesn't... yeah, this doesn't really work. But this exchange, honestly, was not overly bad for white. Overly bad for black. This is fine. What if B descends instead of Hane the second line? What do you mean? What if B descends? This? Yeah, that was one I was looking at. I would have to retreat. So this actually might actually be this actually would probably be a little bit problematic for me because these stones are actually really weak. I don't think black wins this. So it would still be a kind of a problem because he could just do this and then I would just do this and then like this would actually be it. I mean, this would actually, I think this is better for white. This is actually better for me because now black has a weak group here. So I don't think it actually works for him. I would have to retreat. Yeah, I don't know how you would make this work. You do have to realize that there's two... yeah, I don't know how this would actually... I don't think that... it doesn't work too well for him because like there's... you can't really I don't think you can disconnect the white stones. I guess, but that would give that problem. So I don't think you could actually kill this right now. But like I said, like this actually isn't too bad for black. This honestly isn't too bad for black. This stone is I don't like this stone. I would probably just secure a corner. I think you're trying to protect this group too, like Atari and then secure a corner. I feel like that's what I would do. So I invade the 3-3. I would not actually do this. I would definitely either do this. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't do that. I would probably like do that, or once again, Atari. If he doesn't like mind your Atari, it's Sente, and it's actually fairly large. You can always attack from the outside. But yeah, I think this is kind of because you're so strong out here, you don't really need to connect this. I mean, realistically, like here, maybe even just play something like this. I mean, it makes your Moyo looks a lot scarier. So this was definitely a mistake here. I'm going to invade here. I think capping's the best move. Capping puts me in a tough position. It's capping actually puts me in a pretty tough position. So yeah. It's going to be a little bit hard for me to squeeze out two eyes here. This is actually a little too loose. I was wondering what if you just did this, but there's a lot of Ataris in here, so this is that actually gets pretty complicated. I think like with the surround, you're actually being like a little too generous in letting me actually make eye space, right? I mean, this is fine. This is actually fine, but like you are letting me get like a little too big here. I mainly did all these things so he couldn't actually just do this. Like I primarily did those so like I could actually capture him if he tries to if he actually tries to do that. Yeah, like you're letting me generate a lot of eye space here, and you have to realize that black doesn't actually have that much territory if white actually lives in here. I feel like I would just cap this, basically make white spend a couple more moves to live, and then either do this. And if he invades, I would definitely just capture this first because this is Sente, and it's pretty big, and then like, you know, attack white. Because you don't like at this point you don't actually have to kill this to actually win. So just cover like just seal out the outside. Basically let white like make two eyes in here somehow, and then get Sente, and you know like this is fine as well because in the end like this is actually not good for white because there's too many cuts here he can't actually connect. So the thing is maybe just seal that. Maybe just seal this off. And maybe do something like that. You know, like you've got plenty of territory here. You generally have more territory than white is, and plus you have a lot of forcing moves to actually like make your potential work. You know, like let's say white does something like this, makes a big move. Like there's plenty of forcing moves like this you can do to maybe like make some territory here, because this is generally pretty hard to invade. I mean, it's not that much territory, to be honest, but I mean, like you can get a couple points here, definitely. Or like, you know, you're really strong here, so you're actually pretty strong here, so you could invade down here as well. And realistically, this invasion would be kind of either this invasion or this invasion is really kind of crap for white. I don't think this works. I think you're down by one liberty if you do that. Even if you do this, like white would have to go back here, right? And there's not much territory in here for white, so you get all the bottom territory, and at this point you're ahead by a lot. So it'd be hard for white to actually catch up. So once again, like, I mean, once again, like here, objectively when you're here, you have to objectively take a look at the board and assess what you actually need to win. Like white has this here, a couple of points here, and a very few points here. You have this big side, you have this corner, you have some points here. So if you assess like what you actually need to win, you can actually just like not try to kill this group at all. Because if white doesn't actually play in here, there's a lot you can do here. Like there's things that you can force here to get these points, and you know, there's like ways that you can force to get the bottom points too. So white essentially has to play another stone to live. And then, you know, you got Sente, so you essentially do something like that. And that's enough for you to win. So you have to assess the state of the board first. That's a bad move. I screwed that up. There was no need to block that at all. I would actually kind of like go for the kill here, because even if you like don't get the kill, you might. I don't know if you can actually kill it. Probably you might be able to. I don't know. That's obviously no. That I don't. You can't kill it. Like, I mean, even if you're not able to kill it, you can use what you've gained here to build like a lot of territory, and that's just not enough for you to win. So that's enough for you to win. So like the thing is, the goal with attacking this group is either to kill it, or if you can't kill it, seal out the outside and then make a large territory here. You have a lot of stones here. You have a lot of forcing moves here, so you can actually potentially make a large territory here. So like once again, assess the state of the board and realize what you need to win. If you kill it, obviously you win. If you don't kill it, but you seal off the outside, you also win. And that's actually the safer option to go at this point, because I'm not going to be able to live and wreck your outside, or I shouldn't be able to. This is too passive. This is also a bad move. This is a bad move by me, but yeah, this move is key. Like, this move is very key, because if you do this, you seal me inside, you increase your Moyo opportunity. But if I do this, then I kind of destroy your Moyo opportunity, and I also jump out myself. Do that. I'm just doing a protection move. I don't think moves like this are actually good, because moves like this take away your ability to do things like this and maybe destroy the eye shape. Because like this just ends everything. This is actually a pretty good shape for white. Yeah, instead of doing something like that, I mean, here I would just, because you're so strong here, I would probably just directly invade. Because if white does this, and then, like black can do that as well. Or black can just, do this to separate this stone and these four. And then white will have to choose between this stone and these four. And whichever decision white makes, it's not going to be a good decision. So if you invade here and just get the territory here, you're perfectly fine, because you took away white's territory and you can still attack white here. Like, white doesn't have two eyes. Separate these two groups now and maybe try to get one of them. And even if you don't, you've already got all the bottom territory here, which is going to be enough for you to win. Like, even if you did something like this here, right? And white somehow, like, let's say he connects and he's Gote, right? White doesn't have any territory now. All he has is this corner, these stones in here. You have this big side in this corner. So you have enough territory to win. I mean, that's the whole, like, you just have to keep your eye on the prize of, like, how do I win this game? Like, how do I get more territory to win this game? See, I'm just taking, like, small advantages here and there. And, like, I'm basically just nickel and diming you, more or less. This is a pretty big move, but, like, it's not good, because if I do this, like, I always have an option to, like, make eyes. So I already have one eye here. I'm not really too afraid. I was kind of like wondering what, yeah, I mean, I think that's what you eventually did. So here, Eli did say this is a better move, because yeah, you sacrifice the stone, right? But now I'm completely sealed in, and I'm not really sure if I can live here. I most probably can. My guess is I most probably can live here. But it's hard to actually say if I can or not. Like, this is only one eye. If you do this, it might not be any eyes. So I don't have any other eye shapes in here, so you might actually be able to kill it, is the thing. there is a chance that you're actually able to kill it if you do this. On that note, maybe I should do that. I think, yeah, it's probably alive if I do that. But, you have a lot of Sentes here then. Like, you do have a lot of Sentes here. Like, that's a couple of points extra. So there were definitely advantages you can take here. But you should be thinking about this, because this is essentially, if you do this, you essentially cut off this group. You essentially cut off this group. I could probably just do this and live. But, like, you should be looking at trying to kill this group. But like I said, like, you have a bunch of, you actually have a bunch of places to do that. And if I like try to get too fancy, then I'm probably dead. So a lot of Sentes here you can actually take advantage of. So I do think cutting was a better move. Extending is not bad either. You're probably dead here. But you can try to play this option. Now it's not really as good. Like, even if you can move these two out, it's not as good because I have this eye now. So yeah, cutting was the right option there. This connect doesn't really make much sense. You don't really threaten this corner yet. I have too many Libris on the outside. And this makes it possible to have maybe like 2 or 3 points, which is not nearly as big as it should be at this time. I didn't need to do that, but I just wanted to make sure. This is pretty big because it actually gives you more points in the corner. I think you eventually did that, though. So I was wondering if this worked or not. So it does actually work if you play here. Yeah, it does work. Yeah, it does work. So I was actually wrong. I cannot actually do that. I can't actually do that. So I would have to do that. But then again, I do have this move here. So Sente. So like I did actually calculate this wrong. There was something here. And then play 5. Extend, and then I play 5. So that was the move that you should have gone. Like I'm basically doing forcing moves to try to increase my territory, and this is honestly what black actually needs to, like, this is what 5 and 4Q players need to learn, like how to make more forcing moves to make more territory. Because I'm using a lot of forcing moves just to destroy territory. This is not a stone that you need to do right now. Later you will, but not right now. And the rest of this is finishing up. So the rest of this doesn't matter, it's finishing up. So like I feel like, if you're at 4 or 5Q, like in order to make you need to take, for 4 or 5Q players, you need to take more of an assessment of the game, like what you actually need to win. And then over like a greater assessment of the game, you do need to learn more forcing moves. If you learn more forcing moves, your Moyo comes about a lot easier than if you're just trying to like really start trying to surround a territory. So that's the review for today. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button. I will be back tomorrow. Let me know what else I could do in these streams. I'm trying to get more viewers, but it seems like YouTube's just not as popular as Twitch. So I will see you guys